let's make a sign on my laser. So the signs we are making in this video today are actually Formula 1 driver logos and signatures. I am doing the obvious Max Verstappen and then the rookie, not Logan Sargent, but Oscar Piastri. I figured since it was my first year really watching F1, it would be perfect to start with these two. And the machine I'm using is a Thunder Nova 35 100 watt. So we're gonna cut out two pieces for two different sizes of material here. We're gonna do thin for the OP and text here, and then another thick layer for his signature. I will typically lay my signs out after I print them to make sure everything fits really nicely together. This one specifically, I'm using two thicknesses of materials, so I wanted to really see what it was looking like, and I thought it was looking really cool. So when I move on to painting, I'll take all of the small pieces and put all of the same colors on the same strip of tape so that when I hit them with the spray paint, they don't blow all over the place, and it's just an easy way to keep pieces organized. Got distracted, made this French cleat board, made some paint storage for the pieces that we're now priming. So once you have the sign cut out, you just throw it on the paint table and put a nice juicy layer of primer on it. I like to do primer because it hides all the charred edges of the laser, which is super nice. It makes everything look immaculate, so that's what we're doing. I made a Max Verstappen one, so I'm gonna prime this one. The drying station is working as intended. I have 4 different signs in here drying up, so I think that's a success. Day 2 for the F1 signs. We have everything all primed up, so we're gonna just do a light sand quickly, make sure everything is good there before I start laying down some color, and then we'll do just that, lay down some color and get these things painted up. So I'm very excited to finish these. These are gonna look so cool in the basement. My first little bit of paint on the actual sign, and oh, I am so happy with how this is looking. I got gold for Max and then silver for Oscar. It's hard to tell, but like it is so pretty. I'm very excited about how this is turning out.
Several days later.
That was kind of just for the bit. However, I did mess these ones up, and I spent the last 2 days remaking them so I could finish this video because I am not a quitter and mistakes happen. So let me explain what I did and how I did better. I was so close to being done these signs. I had designed them, got it print ready, printed them, painted them, I was on the second last step of gluing it together when I messed it up. And that is super frustrating, and that is why glue ups are the hardest thing for me sometimes and a procrastination point. Because if you mess up on the second last step, you kind of want to pull your hair out, and it's so incredibly frustrating. But that's exactly what I did with these signs, and I'm not afraid to admit that because I guess I'm learning. I was using warped MDF, and I forgot I was using warped MDF. And when I went to glue up, I used wood glue instead of my expensive glue, which is Gorilla Glue in E6000. The reason why I used that glue is because Gorilla Glue, when you stick it on within 10 to 15 seconds, you usually have a secure hold. And E6000, you have a little bit more wiggle room. You can move it around longer. And if you get any glue on your piece, you can actually rub it off sometimes. So it's a really nice option to use for glue ups. However, it's a little bit more on the expensive side. In Canada, a little bottle of Gorilla Glue is $10 where I buy it, where I have access to it. And I think it's around the same price for the E6000 tube. So $20 right there for glue, and it can do maybe 3 signs, especially if they're big pieces like this. So I opted for wood glue, forgetting that my sign was warped like this. So the thin pieces I put on top lifted on the edges, and there was gaps everywhere. And if you know anything about wood glue, you're typically supposed to put weight on it, clamp it, and leave it for an extended period of time. And I didn't do that. I didn't clamp it, I didn't put pressure on it, and that's where I messed up. So I tried to do my best to stick the corners down, but I wasn't able to because I was scuffing up my backer. And then when I went to fix my backer, because I scuffed it, I was getting paint everywhere. It was looking very sloppy. And these signs are going to most likely be a talking point of our basement because I'm making an F1 feature wall for all the things I start to collect over the years, including making signs for the drivers, logos, and signatures. So I really didn't want the focal point of the wall to be really sloppy, especially when it's a direct representation of me as a business and what I can produce. So that is why I scrapped it and did it again. And what do you know? I did what I typically do, use my usual glues, and it turned out way better. And I did them in half the time, better quality, and they're now up in my basement, and I could not be any more excited with them. So I'm gonna show you guys that warped wood sucks and wood glue is a little bit more effort. But yeah, let me show you guys these signs now. All right, so these are the final signs, and as you can see, there's literally no scuffing on them. They are practically perfect. So I couldn't be any more pleased with how these ones turned out. Even the signature here is just like a little cleaner. So I'm very excited with how these turned out. And I think they look really cool on the wall. I'm toying with the idea of painting my whole wall black because this is a theater area. So having a dark wall won't really matter. So I'm kind of toying with that idea. I do have the actual Formula One logo that I want to put up here somewhere. So I have to design this wall because I want to put mini helmets on here. I want to put posters. And I want to put a bunch more driver logos. Like I want to put Lando on here. I want to put, who else? A lot of people. I want to put like the whole grid basically on my wall. So we got a lot of work to do, but that'll take time. And I'm not in a rush to do that, but I need to design this wall in some way. So this might become a series on the channel. So if you're into F1, you're into sign making, follow along. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys some close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you are new, and I guess I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, I'm gonna be cuddling with my corgis. Say bye. Bye.